各位家長、小朋友早晨，歡迎大家參加今朝早嘅牛津家長天地巡禮2022線上活動 Saturday Story Morning。我係今日嘅 MC Winnie。透過故事學習英文一向都係一個最直接、簡單又有效嘅方法。只要揀啱個合適嘅故事，無痛學習話咁易。要揀好故事，牛津大學出版社幫到你。今日我哋精選咗10個故事，由故事嘅作者或者專業嘅 storyteller 用生動有趣嘅方式演繹出嚟，陪大家度過一個愉快嘅星期六早上。同時好高興喺度宣布，繼英國、日本、韓國、越南、台灣等地之外，牛津大學出版社全新電子閱讀平台 Oxford Reading Club 正式進駐香港啦！大家可以以非常實惠嘅價錢閱讀過千本牛津嘅優質英語讀物，再配合多元化嘅讀後學習活動，就可以輕鬆幫助小朋友提升聆聽、說話及閱讀能力，並且增加詞彙量，全面學好英文。想知多啲，繼續睇落去啦！為咗答謝大家對呢個活動嘅支持，我哋安排咗2個有獎快問快答環節。最快答啱嘅家長呢，可以獲得 Oxford Reading Club 90日免費使用，名額共10位。問題會圍繞今日嘅內容，記得專心啲啦。如果過程當中有任何疑問，大家可以透過 Zoom 嘅 Q&A 位置發送問題，我哋會有專人回答。事不宜遲，為大家帶嚟第一個故事。
Hello, hello, hello! Welcome to Story Time. I am Uncle Craig, and today's story is one of my favorite stories, and it has a really strange name. The name of today's story is... Double Trouble. Ooh, I wonder what it's about. Look at the cover. What do you see? That's right. You see a girl, and what is she doing? Yes, that's right. She's riding her bicycle. How about you? Do you have a bicycle? Can you ride your bicycle? Okay, well, what kind of trouble can you get on a bicycle? Let's take a look at our story and see what happens, shall we? Here we go. Wow! Look at the picture. There's the girl again. This is Sarah. She is a student. She has long blonde hair and big blue eyes. Hey, almost like me. I've got short blonde hair and big blue eyes. Great. Sarah has a new bicycle. I think her mommy and daddy bought it for her birthday. Wow, look at that bicycle. Nice. Her bicycle is pink. What color is your bicycle? My bicycle is blue. Great. Sarah likes her new pink bicycle. She is very, very happy. Wow, yes, she looks happy standing behind her new pink bicycle. Look at the picture. There are 4 different places. And those are the places that Sarah rides her bicycle to. Gring, gring. Sarah likes to ride her new bicycle. She rides her bicycle everywhere. Gring, gring. Sarah rides to the park. She likes to play on the swings and the slide in the park. She rides to school. That's Sarah's school over there. Wow, every morning she rides to school and then maybe rides home again. Cool. She rides to the shops. When Mommy needs something, she will ask Sarah to get on her bicycle and ride to the shops and help her to buy whatever she needs. Nice. Sarah is a good helper. And then she rides home. There's Sarah's home in the picture. She rides her bicycle every day. How about you? Do you ride your bicycle every day? Okay, I ride my bicycle almost every day. I don't ride when it rains. Right. Let's see what trouble Sarah can get into on her bicycle. Oh no, do you want to see? Here we go. Aha! Can you see Sarah on her bicycle? It is a sunny day. She is riding her bicycle to school. So I think it must be early in the morning. Sarah sees a policeman. Can you see the policeman? Oh, he is tall. Wow. He has a big cap on his head. Can you see his cap? That's a tall policeman. He is an angry policeman. Why is he angry, I wonder? The policeman says, "Stop!" Sarah stops her bicycle in front of the policeman. Is she in trouble? She doesn't want to be late for school, or else her teacher will be angry too. Can you see Sarah? Can you see the angry policeman? What's the matter? Let's continue and find out, shall we? My goodness. The policeman has a notebook in his hand, and he has a pencil too. What is your name? Asks the policeman. My name is Sarah Sims, says Sarah. The policeman writes in the notebook. How old are you? Asks the policeman. I am 7 years old, says Sarah. Again, the policeman writes in his notebook. Look at the picture. Can you see what he writes in his notebook? Is Sarah in trouble? Let's continue to find out. Ho, 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 look at the policeman now. He points to Sarah's new bicycle. What is this? Asks the policeman. He is angry. It is a bicycle, says Sarah. Whose bicycle is it? Asks the policeman. It is my bicycle, says Sarah. She is a good student and she doesn't want to be late for school. Trouble, trouble, trouble. My goodness. The policeman has some more questions for Sarah. He is now very angry. He points his finger at Sarah and says, Where is your mother? He asks. She is at home, says Sarah. Where do you live? Says the police officer. I live near the park, she says. Sarah points to the park. The park is near her home. Do you remember? That's the park she likes to play on the swings, right? And on the slide. But I don't think she can play on the swings and the slide today. She is in trouble. Oh no! Wow, that's a tall policeman. Do you want to see? Okay. Ta-da! Look at that policeman. He is still asking questions. Sarah looks at the policeman. She is not happy. She will be late for school. What is your address? Asks the policeman. My address is 14 Pine Street, she says. And your telephone number? It is 521-9837, says Sarah. Sarah knows her address and her telephone number. How about you? Do you know your address? Do you know your telephone number? Good. Let's see what happens next. Uh-oh, the police officer has more questions. Wow, this police officer is really inquisitive. So many questions. The policeman points at Sarah's bag. What do you have in there? Asks the policeman. Sarah looks at her bag. I have a doll and a book, she says. What is that? Says the policeman. Sarah says, it is an umbrella. Can you see Sarah's bag? Can you see an umbrella? What a lot of trouble. Oh, the police officer looks a little... Is he hot? He's wobbling a bit. Do you want to see? You do? Ta-da! Look at the police officer. Can you see him sweating? And his body is moving a little? Looks a little strange to me. Where are you going? Asked the policeman. I am going to school, says Sarah. What time is it? Asks the policeman. Sarah looks at her watch and says, it is 8 o'clock. She is going to be late for school. School begins at 8 o'clock. What time does your school begin? Really? Okay. Sarah's teacher is going to be very angry with Sarah. Look at the policeman, though. Is he okay? Let's find out. Oh, the policeman is moving even more. Even Sarah looks at the policeman and thinks, something's not right. Sarah looks at the policeman and says, am I in trouble? Can I go to school now? She asks. The policeman's legs are moving. Look at that. The policeman looks at his legs. What's the matter? Asks Sarah. She can see the policeman's body starting to move a lot. Oh no, says the policeman. Something's the matter with the policeman. Is he in trouble too? I don't know. Let's take a look. Oh, my goodness. Do you want to see? Oh, look at that policeman. Okay, here we go. Ta-da! Look at that policeman. He is now two policemen. Real policemen? Let's read. Sarah looks at the policeman. His coat is open. And where is his cap? It's on the ground. Sarah can see two boys. Bobby? Kevin? Is that you? She says. Yes, it is, says Bobby. You are not a policeman, says Sarah. Surprise, says Kevin. Sarah is surprised. Bobby and Kevin are her friends. They like to play tricks, and they played a trick on Sarah this morning. Sarah, Bobby, and Kevin go to the same school. School? They'd better go to school right away. They're going to be late, and then they will be in real trouble. What a great story. I hope you enjoyed the story as much as I did. It's one of my favorites. Thank you for listening.
Hello, would you like to hear a story? Well, one day the little red hen decided to make her very own bread from the very beginning. Do you know how to make bread from the very beginning? Well, first of all, you have to grow the right ingredients. And what the little red hen needed to make her bread was some wheat. So she thought she'd ask her friends, the cat, the duck, and the dog, whether they'd like to help. I'm going to sow some wheat, said the little red hen. Who would like to help me then? Meow, said the cat. No, I don't fancy that. Quack, quack, said the duck. You're out of luck. Woof, woof, said the dog. No. So the little red hen went and sowed the wheat, all by herself. Well, pretty soon the seeds began to grow, and they grew up straight and tall and turned golden brown. And the little red hen knew that it was time to go out and cut them and take the grains away from the stalks. So, I'm going to harvest the wheat, said the little red hen. Who would like to help me then? Meow, said the cat. No, I don't fancy that. Quack, quack, said the duck. You're out of luck. Woof, woof, said the dog. No. So the little red hen went and did it all by herself again. Well, after the little red hen had harvested all the wheat, she needed to take the grains away from the stalks and grind them up to make flour. Do you know how you do that? Well, you have to go to a special building called a windmill. A windmill has big blades that turn round and around. Ooh, a bit like this. The blades turn round in the wind. And underneath, there's some machinery that turns a big grindstone, and that grinds the wheat into flour. I'm going to grind the wheat, said the little red hen. Who would like to help me then? Meow, said the cat. I don't fancy that. Quack, quack, said the duck. You're out of luck. Woof, woof, said the dog. No. So the little red hen did it all by herself again. Well, after the little red hen had her big bag of flour, she was ready to make the dough and bake the bread. So she carried the flour all the way home, put it in her kitchen. I'm going to bake my bread, said the little red hen. Who would like to help me then? Meow, said the cat. I don't fancy that. Quack, quack, said the duck. You're out of luck. Woof, woof, said the dog. No. So the little red hen did it all by herself again. When the bread was baking in the oven, a delicious smell filled the little red hen's kitchen. And the cat, the duck and the dog all went and stood underneath her kitchen window, and they took deep breaths. And at last the bread was ready. The little red hen took it out of the oven. And she got a knife. She cut herself a nice thick slice, and the knife made a noise as it went through the crust of the bread, and then a noise as it went through the softer part. Then the little red hen got some fresh butter and she spread it onto the bread. I'm going to put my feet up and eat this lovely, warm, soft, white bread, said the little red hen. Who would like to help me now? Meow, said the cat. I fancy that. Quack, quack, said the duck. I'm free. What luck? Woof, woof, said the dog. Yes, please. So the little red hen, well, I wonder what she did. What would you do? Do you think the little red hen should give her bread to her friends even though they didn't help make it? Why don't you put your hand up and tell your teacher what you think?
Oh, hello there. Come and join me. My name's Nicole and I have a story I want to share with you. It's called The Strange Old House and is created by Roderick Hunt and Alex Brichter. In this story, the magic key takes Biff, Chip and Wilf to a spooky old house at night. Biff, Chip and Wilf decide to take a look around. I wonder what they'll find inside. Let's take a look. Wilf had come round to play. Wilma's got a netball match tomorrow, so my mum is taking me to Huntley Hall, he told Biff. It's a stately home. Do you and Chip want to come too? Biff was not sure. Thanks, Wilf, but stately homes aren't very exciting, are they? This one is, said Wilf. He pulled out a book from his bag. It was all about ghosts. Look, he said, turning to the right page. It says here that once, a long time ago, someone actually saw ghosts at Huntley Hall. Wilf grinned. What if we saw a ghost there? Just then, Chip came into the room. What's that about ghosts? He said. Wilf thinks there might be ghosts at Huntley Hall, explained Biff. But there are no such things as ghosts, are there? Chip thought about this. I don't think so, he said. Just then, he noticed a familiar light in the corner. The magic key was glowing. I hope this doesn't mean we're going somewhere spooky, said Chip. The magic took the children to the grounds of a big house at night. This place looks a bit spooky, said Chip. It's Huntley Hall, said Wilf. I recognise it from the picture. It's cold and windy out here, said Biff. Should we see if anyone is in? Before she could knock on the front door, Wilf gave it a gentle push. It's open, he said. Let's have a look around. It was dark and quiet inside the house. Actually, this place is very spooky, whispered Chip. Maybe that's why we're here, said Wilf, so we can see the ghosts of Huntley Hall. There's no such thing as ghosts, said Biff quietly. I'm sure that... She stopped. Hold on. What's that noise? A soft, scratching sound was coming from behind a closed door. What do you think is making that noise? Whispered Chip. Biff held one finger to her lips as she went to the door. She reached for the handle and slowly turned it. The children stepped into a large room lit by oil lamps. There was a piece of paper on the table and a chair was pulled out, but there was no sign of anybody. Chip picked up the paper on the table. It's a drawing of those flowers over there, he said. But who made it? I know, said Wilf. A ghost must have done it. The ghost of Huntley Hall. The children jumped when a voice said, I am not a ghost. A boy stood up from a hiding place behind the desk. I was sketching those flowers, he said. The boy said his name was Henry. Why were you hiding behind the desk? Asked Biff. I heard a noise in the hall and got worried, Henry explained. I want to be an artist, he went on, but my father thinks that's silly. He gets cross when I sketch, so I wait until everybody is asleep. You're a good artist too, said Chip. I've got an idea, said Biff. Why don't you sketch the three of us? Henry smiled. That would be nice, he said. Wilf put his hands on his hips and stuck his chin out. How's this? He joked. Henry pointed to the fireplace. Perhaps you should just all stand over there, he said. He took a fresh piece of paper and began to sketch. Biff, Chip and Wilf concentrated hard on not moving a muscle. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew through the open window. The curtains billowed and knocked one of the lamps over. It fell onto a scrunched-up piece of paper. It's on fire! Cried Henry in alarm. The other children turned to see the flame catch at the bottom of the long curtain. There was no way to put the fire out. It climbed quickly, growing bigger and bigger. "Quick," said Biff. "We have to wake up everybody in the house." The children ran to the hall and began to shout, "Wake up! Fire!" at the top of their voices. They heard footsteps clumping, and then a big man in a nightshirt raced down the stairs. "Where's the fire? What's going on, Henry?" he demanded. Henry pointed through the open door to the study. Henry's father took a deep breath. Then he shouted in a booming voice, "Servants, we need water in the study right now!" The children could hear more footsteps and shouts all around the house. Moments later, several servants appeared. They were carrying buckets, pans, and anything else that would hold water. When they threw the water onto the fire, it let out an angry-sounding hiss. At last, the fire was out. "Who left a window open and an oil lamp lit?" asked Henry's father with a scowl. "I believe you did, dear," said Henry's mother from the stairs. It was only then that Henry's father noticed Biff, Chip and Wilf. "Who are you three?" he demanded. "What are you doing here?" Luckily, the magic key had begun to glow in Biff's pocket. Before they disappeared, Chip just had a chance to give Henry a final word of advice. "Don't give up art. You're really good." The last thing they saw was Henry smiling. The next instant, the three children were back in Biff's bedroom. "It's a pity we didn't see any ghosts," said Wilf. They all agreed that it had been an exciting adventure anyway. The next day, Biff and Chip went with Wilf and his mum to Huntley Hall. Wilf's mum was happy to see how interested the three children were in the hall's history. The tour guide led them into the study. 200 years ago, a fire started in this room," the guide said. "It might have destroyed the house, but 3 mysterious strangers warned the Huntley family just in time." "Nobody knew who they were, but it was lucky they were there," continued the guide. "Then they just vanished." The children looked at each other in surprise. "We didn't meet any ghosts," whispered Wilf. "I think we were the ghosts." In the next room, the tour guide talked about people who had lived in the house. "Henry Huntley became a successful artist," she said. "Here's Henry's painting of his father, who claimed to be his biggest fan." There were several of Henry's paintings and sketches in the room. "Look at this one," said Wilf's mum. "It looks a bit like you three." The children just smiled, remembering the night when Henry drew their picture. That's all for now. I hope you'll join me for another story soon.
Sit. Sit. sit, shout, It's a sunny day.
It's very hot.
Says Max.
Please, can we go to the swimming pool, Mom?
Says Ben. I'm sorry, says Mom. I can't take you now. I'm going to the store. I have an idea. Let's go to the beach, Grandpa says. You can swim there,
Great! I love the beach.
says Rosie. Grandpa shouts, Clunk, where are you? Here, says Clunk.
Okay guys, today our book is Pet Day. So remember, before we read, we got our 4 little characters. We've got Dora, Tico, Backpack, and Boots. It's Pet Day. Cats and a fish. A dog. It's Lalo. My cat, Lucky. Oh no, I think, guys, the cat might be wandering off. Oh no. Find Lucky. Guys, can you find Lucky? Where is Lucky? Up in the tree. Yes, up in the tree. Okay, Lucky's up in the tree. Stuck up in the tree. Lucky! Backpack can help. Now, we have to choose. Got 4 things we can choose from, guys. We could choose a wooden spoon. I'm not sure how useful a wooden spoon is going to be, guys. What do you think? A wooden spoon? Is that going to get a cat down from the tree? I don't know. What about an alarm clock? Guess an alarm clock could scare the cat out the tree, but I don't think it's going to be very useful. Okay, a camera? I don't know, we can take a photo, but I don't think that's going to help. What about the step ladder, the rope ladder? That going to work? Yeah, I think the rope ladder is going to work. Okay, well, let's have a little look, see if we're right. Yes, the rope ladder. Climbing up to get the cat. What is it, Lalo? It's a ball. We did it.
Hello, my name is Ben.
It's a sunny day. It is very windy at the beach today. Ben looks at the sea. He is not happy. We can't swim here, said
I want to make a sand castle.
Ready. Go.
rock pool. Rock pool. Rock pool. Button.
Hi children, welcome. How are you? I am fine. What's this? I'm wearing something special. That's right. Can you see? There's some pink and some red and some special patterns. This is a traditional Chinese garment. And when do we wear it? On special occasions, like Chinese New Year. On Chinese New Year, we wear special new clothes. Usually they are red. We would clean our house and we would decorate it with different red things. We would also wish other people good fortune for the next coming year. We can also have some special food and red packets as well. For all of these activities, we do have to prepare a lot. So today, I'm going to tell you a story about Joyce and how she prepares for New Year's. Now, in Joyce's family, every year before Chinese New Year, Dad cleans the flat. Cleaning the windows, cleaning the floors, and he goes to Joyce's bedroom. Joyce! Joyce's bedroom is really untidy. Uh-oh. So Joyce cleans her bedroom. She puts away her books. She puts away her clothes. And she puts away her toys. Oh, what's this? She's found this under the bed. What's inside? Shall we take a look? Let's see. They're old red packets from last year. What should Joyce do with them? She brings her red packets and she goes to Mom. Mom, look, old red packets. Mom says, let's do something fun. So Mom gives Joyce some crayons and paper. Mom gets some glue and scissors, and then she starts to cut. Ta-da! And Joyce takes her crayons, and then she starts to draw. What did Joyce draw? She has stars and fireworks. Well, she draws them and she folds all of her red packets. Ta-da! Guess what they are?
she has New Year's greeting cards for her family. Should we take a look at what these greeting cards say? Let's see. Dear grandmother and grandfather, how are you? I am fine. Happy Chinese New Year. Love, Joyce. Lovely. That's one greeting card. Ooh, who else did she write to? Aunt Jenny and Uncle Paul. Dear Aunt Jenny and Uncle Paul, how are you? I am fine. Happy Chinese New Year. Love, Joyce. And there's one more. Who is this for? Mom and Dad. Dear Mom and Dad. Oh, we don't have to say how are you. Mom and Dad is at home. Happy Chinese New Year. Love, Joyce. Joyce is now all prepared for Chinese New Year. On Chinese New Year Day, Aunt Jenny and Uncle Paul come to visit. They give Joyce some new red packets. Joyce really likes Chinese New Year. The end. Children, what do you do with your old red packets? Can you be like Joyce and we can reuse them to decorate the house? Other than making greeting cards for your family, you can also use the old red packets to make lanterns, paper flowers, fold some red purses, or just simple decorations that you can hang around the house. So children, next year you can see what you can do with your old packets instead of throwing them away. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
In this video, we will be taking a look at the audiobook feature. Every single Oxford Reading Club book has an audiobook function, with the vast majority offering both the British and American accents. You can easily switch between the accents by selecting the corresponding flags. Here is the British accent, and here is the American accent. You can also change the reading speed to be slower or faster by adjusting this slider. Let's give it a go now. The audiobook feature is one of the best features of the app, as it turns the book into an animated cartoon with music and sound effects. This added audio dimension helps to engage and immerse the reader into the story without the challenges of being able to read the words. Listening to the story prior to reading improves pronunciation, fluency, and comprehension. Let's try changing the accent and adjusting the speed now.
Biff and Chip looked at the house. Everyone liked it. Kipper pulled the wallpaper.
Biff and Chip looked at the house. Everyone liked it. Kipper pulled the wallpaper.
Now let's try adjusting the speed.
Everyone liked it. Kipper pulled the wallpaper. Everyone liked it. Kipper pulled the wallpaper. They went into a room. Everyone liked this room. Kipper looked up the chimney.
Biff wanted this bedroom. It was a big room. Kipper jumped on the bed.
睇咗5個咁有趣嘅故事，又初步了解咗 Oxford Reading Club 到底係乜嘢，係時候進入第一輪有獎快問快答環節。 最快答啱嘅家長可以獲得 Oxford Reading Club 90日免費使用。大家可以透過 Zoom 嘅 Q&A 位置，連同手提電話發送答案。今次我哋會產生5位嘅得獎者，記得要將你嘅手提電話同埋答案一齊 send 俾我哋。如果唔係，我哋就揾唔到你㗎啦。好，問題嚟啦！請注意，呢題係選擇題。問題係牛津大學出版社全新電子閱讀平台 Oxford Reading Club 上面一共有幾多本書呢？ A 10本 B 50本 C 100本 D 超過1000本。嗱，我重複一次個問題。牛津大學出版社全新電子閱讀平台 Oxford Reading Club 上面一共有幾多本書呢？ A 10本 B 50本 C 100本 D 超過1000本。有獎快問快答嘅結果將於下星期喺我哋嘅 Facebook 專頁牛津家長天地公佈，未 follow 嘅就快手啲啦。得獎者亦會有專人通知。跟住落嚟，繼續我哋嘅故事時間。
Hello, hello, hello! Welcome to Story Time. I am Uncle Craig, and this is a wonderful story about a good idea. In fact, it's such a good idea, we can call it a great idea. I'm sure that you have good ideas from time to time, right? What do you do when you have a great idea? In today's story, we are going to see how a little boy uses a great idea. Today's story is called Uncle Jerry's Great Idea. If we look at the picture, we can see how many people? Yes, that's right. 2 people. And do you know which of those 2 people is Uncle Jerry? Yes, that's right. He's the one with the red shirt. And the other person is sitting on his bed playing computer games. That boy is Jim. Jerry is Jim's uncle. What good idea does Jerry have? Let's read the story and find out, shall we? Wow, look at that picture. Can you see Jim? You need to look very carefully. Yes, that's right. That's Jim in the window. And the other people are Jim's family. His sister, his mother, his father. Yes, and Uncle Jim. Jim is 8 years old. He lives with his parents, his sister, and his uncle in a small town. Everybody in Jim's family likes to play sports. How about you? Do you like to play sports? What sports do you like? Okay, great. Everybody in Jim's family likes to play sports except Jim. He doesn't like sports. On Saturday, Jim's family went to the park. His father played baseball. His mother played tennis. His sister played basketball. His Uncle Jerry played baseball too. Jerry and Jim's father are on the same baseball team. How about Jim? Does he play any sports? Nah, he doesn't like sports. Let's take a look at the next page. Do you want to see? Let's take a look. Great. There's Jim. Look at him. Playing on his computer. On Saturday, Jim didn't go to the park. He played baseball, but not in the park. He played on his computer. That afternoon, when Jim's parents came home, they heard a lot of noise coming from Jim's bedroom. They went upstairs to see what all the noise was about. When they opened the door and looked inside, Jim's mother and father saw Jim, and they were not happy. He was playing baseball on his computer. Yay! And making a lot of noise. He never goes to the park, his mother said quietly. She is worried about Jim. Jim's parents walked into the bedroom, and Uncle Jerry stood outside listening. Jim's parents were worried about Jim. They said, "You always stay at home on the computer. Why don't you come to the park with us?" Jim said, "I don't like the park. I like my computer." Now, Jim wasn't happy. Uncle Jerry was sad to see Jim unhappy, so he started to think and think and think. Aha! Uncle Jerry had a great idea. And the idea was to help Jim feel happy again. What is his idea, do you think? I don't know. Let's take a look. Later on that day, Jim was sitting on the steps outside his house. Uncle Jerry looked at Jim and he felt sad too. So he sat down next to Jim and he began to talk to Jim. "What's the matter?" he asked Jim. "I don't like the park," said Jim. Uncle Jerry wanted to help Jim. He didn't like to see him feeling so sad. "I have an idea," said Uncle Jerry. "Next Saturday, bring some paper and a pencil to the park." Paper? Pencil? To the park? What is Uncle Jerry's good idea? Can you guess? Can Jim play baseball with paper and a pencil? I don't think so. What is Jerry's idea? Let's continue reading. Okay. Hey, it's working. Jim is already at the park. Look at the picture. Yeah, there we go. And that's Uncle Jerry. And look, there's Jim's father playing baseball. The next Saturday, Jim went to the park. He went to watch his father and his uncle play baseball. He remembered to bring his pencil and some paper. The game was about to begin. The players were on the field. Look, they're ready to play. His father went up to bat, going to hit the ball. Uncle Jerry started to tell Jim about his great idea. He whispered in Jim's ear, "Watch us play and count everything we do," said Uncle Jerry. Okay, said Jim. He picked up his pencil and paper and got ready to write. Interesting, huh? Why must Jim write down everything they do? Let's continue reading. Whoa! Oh, wow! So much action! Take a look. Ha ha ha! Look at that! Play ball! Said the umpire, and the game began. The players threw the ball. They hit the ball. And they caught the ball. Is it like baseball on the computer? Asked Jim. Yes, just count the times we get runs and hits, Uncle Jerry said. So Jim started to count and write. Count and write. He was very busy writing on the paper. And he was not sad at all. And he was not bored. It looks like Uncle Jerry's idea is starting to work. Jim is busy and he doesn't look sad anymore. Let's continue. Ho ho! That's Jim's father and his uncle getting ready to bet. The game was very exciting. Everybody played well. Jim watched the game carefully. Then Jim's father hit a long home run. Whoa! Everybody clapped and cheered. Yay! Jim's father ran to first base, then to second base, then to third base, and then he ran home. Whoa! Jim's father hit a home run. Wow, that's cool. He was very happy. Look at how happy Jim's father is. Count the home runs too, said Uncle Jerry. Okay, said Jim. Great idea. Uncle Jerry's great idea. Let's continue. Wow, now they all returned home. After the game, the whole family returned home after a good day at the park. They were all very tired, but they were all happy. Jim was happy too. Uncle Jerry said to Jim, "Go and make a chart on your computer." Okay, said Jim. He ran up to his room very quickly with the piece of paper and his pencil. Jim is good at using his computer to create things. How about you? Can you create charts and pictures on your computer? Jim knew exactly what to do. Let's see what he creates, shall we? Hey, that looks pretty neat. Do you want to see? Okay. Haha, nice. Jim used his computer to make a chart. Look at the chart on the piece of paper. Haha. He typed in all the numbers on his paper. After 15 15 minutes. Jim was finished. His chart was finished. He printed it out on the computer. This is Jim's chart. Look at the numbers. Wow, that's cool. Well done, Jim. Good job, eh? Who made the most runs? Can you see? Good. Did Uncle Jerry hit a home run? No, he didn't. Jim's father hit a home run. What is Jim going to do with the chart? Let's take a look. Wow! Everybody is having lunch in the dining room. Take a look. There's Jim, Uncle Jerry, Jim's mother, father, and his sister. Everybody had a shower and put on some clean clothes. It was time for lunch and everybody was quite hungry. Everybody was in the dining room. At lunch, Jim gave the chart to his father and said, "Look, Dad." His father looked at the chart. This is great. I really like it, said Jim's father. Jim had a big smile on his face. Uncle Jerry was very happy too. He was happy, but also very hungry. What do you think happened after that? Let's take a look. Hey! Look at that. Do you want to see? Okay. Aha! There we go. On Saturday morning, everybody was off to the park again. This time, Jim was going to the park too. Can you do one chart for basketball too, please? Said his sister. Yes, said Jim. Uncle Jerry smiled. It was a good idea. A great idea. Now, Jim goes to the park every Saturday, and he always brings a pencil and some paper. Wow, good for Jim and good for Uncle Jerry. So, here we can see how they used a great idea to change Jim's mind and make him happy again. So remember, if you have a great idea in the future, please share it with everybody. You never know, you might make someone very happy. Thank you for listening.
Splash. Seaweed.
Hello, I want to tell you a story about a birthday surprise. Ben comes to Tina's flat after school. They are very excited. Tomorrow, there is a surprise birthday party for Miss Blair. It's a surprise because Miss Blair doesn't know about it. Miss Blair is their English teacher and she's really nice. Tina and Ben love her and they want to make her something special. Guess what they want to make? They want to make her some yummy cupcakes for the party. There is only one problem though. Who knows how to make cupcakes? Not Tina, not Ben. Luckily, Tina's mum will help them. First, they wash their hands like so. Then, they get everything ready. They put out the sugar, the flour, the butter, and a cupcake pan like this one. They also need some eggs, so Tina asks her mum, "Mum, how many eggs do we need?" Tina's mum says, 3 eggs please. So Tina goes over to the fridge, she opens the fridge door, and she starts taking the eggs out one by one. 1 egg, 2 eggs, 3 eggs. Whoops! Tina drops an egg on the floor. But that's okay, accidents happen. They just clean up the broken egg and carry on. They use a big bowl like this one and a big spoon like this one to mix everything together. They mix the butter, sugar, eggs, and flour in the big bowl. Then they add a little milk. Tina is very happy mixing because she loves cooking. Ben looks in the bowl and he says, I think we need a lot of flour, a lot more flour. Tina's mum says, "That's right, Ben." So Ben takes the flour and he chucks it in like so. What happens? The flour rises up in the air and hangs in the air right in front of Tina. Poor Tina, she's still mixing and mixing and mixing, and all of a sudden she can't see anything in front of her. Help! Where is everyone? I can't see. Isn't that funny? After the children put the batter into the cupcake pan, Tina's mum puts the cupcakes in the oven to bake them. While the cakes are cooking, the children are thinking about the decorations. They want to make the cupcakes look nice. Tina has an idea. I know. Let's write a message on top of the cupcakes. We have 26 cupcakes. Each cake can have 1 letter on it. What Tina means is that she wants to put a letter on each cupcake so that they can spell out a message. Ben says, "Oh, that's a great idea. Let's write, 'Hello, Miss Blair, are you there?'" Now, what do you think? Is that a good message for birthday? Tina doesn't think so. She says, "No, Ben, it's her birthday." How about, "Dear Miss Blair, happy birthday." Ben says, "Oh, okay." Now the cakes are cold and the children are putting icing on the cupcakes. They are very happy because they're having fun. Ben looks at Tina and he laughs. "Ha ha ha, look at you, Tina. You have icing in your hair." And Tina looks at Ben and she goes, "Well, you have icing on your nose." They are having so much fun. After a while, the kitchen becomes a bit messy and they start helping Tina's mum to clean up the kitchen. everybody is busy tidying up the kitchen, and they didn't see that Tina's little brother Mark has come into the kitchen. Mark looks at the cupcakes and his eyes light up. Cupcakes. Suddenly, the doorbell goes. Ding dong, ding dong. Tina's mum says, that must be Andy. Andy is Tina's big brother. So Tina's mum goes to answer the door. And Tina and Ben go to Tina's room to play. Guess who is alone in the kitchen with all of the cupcakes? That's right. Little Mark is in the kitchen with all the cupcakes. He climbs up a chair and grabs a cupcake. Yummy. Now Andy is home from football practice. He's very hungry because he has been exercising the whole morning. He sees the cakes. Oh, cupcakes, my favorite. A little while later, Tina's dad comes home from work. He's tired and he's hungry because he has been working hard the whole day. When he sees the cupcakes, he's very pleased. He takes one, then he takes one more. These cakes are good. Later on, Tina's mum comes back into the kitchen and she sees that the lettuce are dry. So she starts putting the cupcakes in the cake tin so that Tina can take the cake tin to school tomorrow. Tina's mum counts the cupcakes. 11, 12, 13, 14. Suddenly, little Mark comes into the kitchen and he's crying, whoa, 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 whoa. So Tina's mum stops counting. She says, what's the matter, darling? And Tina's brother Mark goes, my fingers. So Tina's mum tries to comfort Mark and says, it's okay, darling, don't worry. Come and help Mummy. Count the cupcakes with me. What number is this one? 19? Okay, 19, 20, 21, 22. Now, did you notice something wrong? That's right. Tina's mum didn't count 15, 16, 17, and 18. I wonder whether Tina and Ben will get into trouble because of this the next day. The next morning, Tina meets Ben at school. She's holding the big cupcake tin. They are very excited about the surprise. Tina says, let's find Mr. Smith and our classmates, Ben. Ben can't wait. He says, come on, Tina, they are waiting for us in the classroom. Inside the classroom, everybody's busy. Tina and Ben are taking up the cupcakes. Some students are busy blowing up balloons. Other children are busy putting the balloons up on the walls. Mr. Smith says, okay, class, we have 5 minutes. Tina says to Ben, let's put the cakes in the right order. So, they start putting the cupcakes in the right order. First, they spell dear. Then, they spell Miss Blair. Next, they try to spell happy birthday. But there is a problem. Some of the cupcakes are missing and therefore some of the letters are missing. Ben says, oh no, there is no A for happy. Tina says, and we need I R and D for birthday. There is no time. What can they do? Suddenly, Tina has a bright idea. Tina says to Ben, "We can make a new message with the letters." Ben says, "But how?" Tina says, "Don't worry, let's try this. Let's move A from dear." Now we have happy. Ben gets the idea and he says, "Oh yes, let's move I from miss and put it here." At this point, Mr. Smith joins them. He says, "Oh, okay, let's put R here and D here." Now we have happy birthday. With Mr. Smith's help, Tina and Ben make a new message like so. It says, "Happy birthday, Miss Blair." Mr. Smith is very proud of the children. He says, "Good idea. Miss is another way of saying Miss or Mrs. Ben sees the 2 extra cupcakes left and he has an idea. He says to Tina, "But now we have 2 extra cakes. What can we do with them?" A while later, Miss Blair walks into the classroom with her books. She sees the cupcakes and the beautiful decorations in the classroom. She says, "Wow, what's this?" The children come out and they shout together, "Happy birthday, Miss Blair!" All the children sing happy birthday to Miss Blair. Then they have a cupcake each. Except for Tina and Ben, they are not very hungry because they've had the cupcakes. Miss Blair is very happy and she's very proud of the children. She says, "Thank you, class. This is a lovely birthday surprise." Now, isn't that a nice story?
Oh, hello there. Come and join me. My name is Nicole and I have a story I want to share with you. It's called The Bigfoot Mystery and is created by Roderick Hunt and Alex Brichter. In this story, the magic key takes Biff, Chip and Kipper on an adventure to a forest. I wonder what mystery animal they might meet there. Let's take a look. Mum was checking Kipper's trainers. "Are these your toes at the end?" she asked. "Your feet have grown again." "You need a new pair of trainers," said Mum. "Go and tell Biff and Chip that we're going to the shops." As soon as Kipper peeked into Biff's room, the magic key started to glow. It was time for an adventure. The magic took them to a forest with lots of tall trees. Biff saw a footprint in the mud. "Look at this," she said. "It's enormous." She put her own foot next to the footprint to compare. "What made it?" asked Kipper. "A bear?" "Bears have paws with sharp claws," said Biff. "This footprint has toe marks. Some people believe a mystery animal called Bigfoot lives in the woods," said Chip. "Perhaps Bigfoot made the footprint," Chip added. "Here is another mystery," said Kipper. "Why is this rope here?" Biff and Chip went to check. Suddenly, a big wooden cage dropped down over the three children. "Oh no!" shouted Chip. "It's a trap!" The children tried to lift up the cage, but it was much too heavy. "Help!" shouted Kipper. "Is anybody there?" "Yes," said Biff. "Look over there." A huge, hairy creature was watching them. It looked interested. "That's Bigfoot," said Chip in amazement. Bigfoot came closer. "I think he wants to help us," said Biff. The wooden cage was not heavy for Bigfoot. He lifted it off the children easily. "We're free," said Chip. Biff looked up at Bigfoot. "Thanks for helping us," she said. Bigfoot seemed to smile at the children. Suddenly, they heard gruff voices. "The trap is this way," said a man. Bigfoot looked round. Now he seemed frightened. He ran into the woods and hid. A moment later, 3 men appeared. "What are you children doing here?" one of them asked. "We're lost," said Chip quickly. "My name is Mr. Bunkum," said the man. "We set that trap to catch a mystery animal called Bigfoot." Bigfoot stayed hidden and watched. "What will you do if you catch him?" Biff asked Bunkum. Bunkum smiled. "I'm going to take him all around the world in my travelling circus. People will pay lots of money to see him. He is the only Bigfoot in the world." Bunkum gave the children a hard stare. "Have you seen Bigfoot near here?" he asked. The children did not think Bunkum's plan sounded very nice for Bigfoot. Biff, Chip and Kipper looked at each other. They shook their heads. Chip quietly rubbed his foot over the footprint so the men would not see it. "Maybe I'll go and look for the Loch Ness Monster instead," Bunkum said crossly. The magic key began to glow. "What's that? A magic key?" shouted Bunkum. "People will pay lots to see that." The children started disappearing. "Come back!" Bunkum shouted angrily. He did not know that Bigfoot was behind him, waving goodbye to the children. At home, Mum was waiting to take Kipper shopping for new trainers. Go on then, Bigfoot, joked Biff to her little brother. That's all for now. I hope you'll join me for another story soon.
In this video, we'll be taking a look at the monthly report and the study badges. Let's dive in. Once you log in the My Library, you can find two cards. One that says monthly report and study badges. Immediately I can preview some quick information regarding the books I've read and the time I've spent reading. And I can also see my latest badges. Let's have a look at the monthly report. We can click on to Go to Report. And that will bring up the monthly report. We can select the year, the month, and we can search. We can also download the report in the PDF format. And as we scroll down, here is the report. You can see a summary, the total study days, the number of books read, the average study time, the total study time, and the words read. You can see data on the reading patterns. And you can see the total minutes read in a pie chart format, showing the series. So in this example, this student has read 3 series. And we can also find the most recent books read listed in this section here. And finally, we have a time chart and the total number of books and the badges achieved. Now let's have a look at the badges. So we can go back to My Library, where it shows up this dashboard, and we can go to Study Badges. Here we can see the list of badges awarded to the student. And at the bottom, we can find the medal system. So in total, there are 5 types of badges that can be awarded to students. Each badge has 9 levels. Here is the corresponding points needed to achieve each level of each badge.
Hello. This story is about a little girl whose doting parents gave her everything she wanted. Well, they would do, because this little girl was a princess. And for example, on this little girl's birthday, the Queen, her mother, told her she could have anything she wanted, and the princess said, "Oh, anything? Do you promise?" And the Queen said, "Yes, I promise, anything you want." So the princess said, "I want a ball made out of gold." And the Queen said, "Well, there's no such thing as a ball made out of gold, dear." But the princess said, "A promise is a promise." So the Queen went to the jeweller's and she had them make a ball out of beautiful shining gold. And she gave it to the princess for her birthday. The princess loved her golden ball. And every day she'd go down to the palace gardens and throw it and catch it, play games with it and have all sorts of fun. But one day she went a little bit too close to the palace pond. And she was throwing and catching and throwing and catching and throwing and catching, and she dropped it, splash, into the pond. Well, the princess had a good look down into the pond, but the ball had sunk right to the bottom and she couldn't see it anywhere. So she sat down by the side of the pond and started to cry. And while she was sitting there crying like that, a frog plopped up from the pond like this. Plop. And the frog said, "Ribbit." do you want your ball back? And the princess said, oh my gosh, it's a talking frog! And the frog said, yes, but do you want your ball back? The princess said, oh yes, please will you get it for me? The frog said, well, what would you do if I got you your ball back? And the princess said, anything, oh anything. So the frog said, would you be my friend if I went and got your ball back? And the princess said, oh yes, I promise, anything. So the frog jumped into the pond, splash, and after a while he came back with the golden ball. But as soon as the princess saw the golden ball, she snatched it and ran back to the palace without even saying thank you. Well, that evening, they were all sitting at dinner. There was the princess, the king, and the queen, when they heard a funny noise, and the noise went like this: flop, flop, flop. The queen said, what's that funny noise? And the princess said, nothing. So the queen said, I think we'd better open the door, don't you? And she went and opened the door. And there, on the doorstep, was the frog. Well, the queen looked at the princess, and the king looked at the princess. And the queen said, what have you done now? The princess said, I have been friends with the morning moon. The queen said, I beg your pardon. And the princess said, I promised I would be his friend if he got my ball back, but then I wasn't. The queen said, well, a promise is a promise. And the princess said, but how can I be friends with a cold, wet frog? And the frog, sitting in the doorway, said, well, a real friend would invite me in to dinner. After all, a promise is a promise. Oh, all right, said the princess. And so she picked up the frog, and she sat him next to her at the table, and he ate all the food off her plate like this with his long tongue. At the end of dinner, the princess said to the frog, will you go on back to the pond now? And the frog said, a real friend would let me stay for a sleepover. After all, a promise is a promise. Oh, all right, said the princess. And so she picked up the frog, and she took him upstairs with her to her bedroom, where she said, here, you can sleep in this nice box. But the frog said, a real friend would let me have the bed. After all, a promise is a promise. Oh, all right, said the princess. And so she put the frog down on her pillow. And she went to find herself a sleeping bag so that she could sleep on the floor. But just as she was doing that, something very strange started to happen. The frog, sitting on the pillow, began to grow and grow and grow. And then he grew long legs and long arms, and he lost his green colour, and before the princess knew what was going on, there was a boy standing there. The princess said, who are you? And the boy said, I'm a prince. See, a wicked witch put a spell on me so that I would always have to be a frog unless somebody was a really good friend to me. So thank you. The princess said, but I haven't been a really good friend to you. I didn't really like you at all. And the prince said, but you see, you kept your promises even when you didn't feel like it. So you see, you were a really good friend. Well, after that, the prince and the princess got to know one another, and they became really, really good friends. And they spent lots of every day together. In fact, they'd quite often go down to the palace garden and play with the golden ball, throwing it and catching it, one to the other, although they didn't ever go too close to the pond. And when the prince and the princess grew up, they got married, and they promised to love one another forever and ever. And they did, because after all, a promise is a promise.
In this video, we will show you how to register for a free trial. First, visit www.oxfordreadingclub.com. Then, click Free Trial. First, enter your desired user ID. In this example, I'm going to use Mickey Mouse 1. Next, enter a password. Make sure you remember your password as you will need this to log in. Then, enter your email address. Next, enter your first name and last name. Select the country Hong Kong. For the institution, type NA. And finally, for role, select student. Next, read the terms and conditions and the privacy policy. After doing so, check I agree and click register. Your registration is now complete. Now you can access Oxford Reading Club by clicking login and using your ID and password.
Alright class, today our reading for our book club is called Let's Go Magic School. Does everyone here love magic? Yes, I do too. Teacher Payne loves magic. So our first character today is the wizard. He says, "Hello Ed and Emmy, how are you today?" "Fine, Mr. Magic, how about you?" "Pretty good. Today is a big day at the Let's Go Magic School." "Mr. Magic, what is this?" "It's my new magic box. These are my magic pencils and my new magic notebook." "What are those?" "Those are my new magic pencil sharpener, my new magic calendar, and my new magic clock." "What can the clock do, Mr. Magic?" "Hold the clock and say the alphabet backwards." Oh, this might be a little bit tricky, but I think we can do it. Ready? ZYX WVU TS RQP ONM LKJ IHG FED CBA. Yes, we did it. "Mr. Magic is young and thin." "I like this magic clock," said Mr. Magic. "Mr. Magic, me. Can I hold the magic clock?" said Ed. "Okay now, Ed, say the alphabet forwards." All right, I think we can all do the alphabet forwards together. That's pretty easy, right? So let's say it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Excellent job, everyone. "Mr. Magic, Ed is old and tall and not thin. And the head, it's round. The head is a globe." "Old, round, not thin, a globe? Mr. Magic. Ed, are you okay?" "Mr. Magic, can I hold the magic calendar?" said Ed. I don't think after that he should hold the magic calendar, but you guys did an excellent job and thank you for joining in.
話咁快進入第二輪有獎快問快答環節，最快答啱嘅家長呢，可以獲得 Oxford Reading Club 90日免費使用。大家可以透過 Zoom 嘅 Q&A 位置，連同手提電話號碼發送答案。今次亦會產生5位得獎者，記得要加埋你嘅電話號碼同埋答案一齊發送俾我哋。如果唔係，我哋揾唔到你㗎啦。同樣係選擇題，問題係 Oxford Reading Club 有互動閱讀5部曲，令到睇書唔單止係睇書，而係升華至學習。請問互動閱讀5部曲嘅步驟1係以下邊一項呢？ A. 聆聽 B. 閱讀 C. 熱身 D. 重溫。重複一次，請問互動閱讀5部曲嘅步驟1係以下邊一項呢？ A. 聆聽 B. 閱讀 C. 熱身 D. 重溫。有獎快問快答環節嘅得獎結果將於下星期喺我哋嘅 Facebook 專頁牛津家長天地公佈，得獎者亦會有專人通知。今日嘅活動已經嚟到尾聲。如果你同你嘅小朋友仲想繼續喺有趣嘅故事當中漫遊，藉此學好英文以及打好自學嘅基礎，不妨登記 Also Reading Club 免費試用。填妥簡單嘅表格就可以限時睇到6本英文故事書，兼大玩入邊多元化嘅讀後活動。仲等咩啊？立即行動啦！多謝大家參與今日嘅活動，我哋後會有期，拜拜。